Well, ask, is terrestrial radio still important?
Um, I mean, to some extent, I think terrestrial radio is important. Is it the standard anymore? No, it's not. That used to be the way. It was just like, hey, new song came out, hit terrestrial radio, it gets played to everybody. And the reason why it's not the standard anymore is because it's just there's so many things that you can listen to nowadays. There's terrestrial radio, and then there's Sirius, XM, radio, which is satellite, and then there's YouTube and all the streaming services and Pandora. Then you have all the digital download music. Like, music is just so accessible in so many different ways. It really makes terrestrial radio a little obsolete, but it also depends on where you live. Like, when I was living in the city, I listened to the radio not at all. It just wasn't somewhere where I would do it. Whereas now, I recently moved back to the suburbs, and I'm listening to the radio a bit more because now I'm in a car. Can I listen to my playlists and stuff? Sure. But there's also that side of me that wants to discover some new music. So I'm listening to it a little bit more often. The real question for independent artists is like, what terrestrial radio stations are going to be willing to play your music? And, do those stations actually have access to your target audience? If the answer is yes, like, let's say you're in the blues and you want to put it on a blues station, then absolutely. TJ and I, again, we own a record label, focused on game soundtracks, is targeting video game radio stations that do like radio channels that actually have that on there. Absolutely, we target that. Are they terrestrial radio stations? No, they're not. But we've done stuff before in the past, but it really is just, where is your audience and how do you want to reach them? If terrestrial radio actually makes sense and you have access to that, then it has relevance. If that's not the case, I wouldn't be stressing out about it, because there are plenty of other ways to reach audiences nowadays that will be more accessible to artists than having to go through the gatekeepers that are terrestrial radio people.
Yeah, I mean, it right. I always get my royalties mixed up, but it pays, right? I mean, that's something your PRO would pay you on, right?
Yeah, that is what PROs pay you on, and they pay you on terrestrial radio plays. That's your public performance royalties. So like, that's yeah.
Yeah, if you could get it played everywhere, yes, it's good for you. In terms of like, yeah, if you get one college radio station to just play it, no interview, no mention, just kind of in the playlist once, it's like a milestone. It's fun and good, but I don't know how helpful it is from a promotional standpoint.
Yeah, but I also we have artists that we work with that have like pitched radio stations. Again, like, one of our artists is a blues, in the blues, and like they have their place targeted pitching like blues radio sites, and that works completely well for them. And then other people that have done like kids music and stuff like that. It really just depends on where your audience is. So at the end of the day, if you think your audience is in that realm and you feel like you have an avenue to it, then you can give it a try. Get on it.
Some DJs really add a lot of great context and will like talk about you or have you on the show or whatever, and tell a good story about why you're relevant or how they heard of you and stuff. And that stuff matters. That's classic signature sales story stuff. So if you know of a good radio host that you listen to and they kind of add to the music because they provide some context and tell you about new bands and stuff, then it's worth reaching out to them, because they're just people and they love new music just like anybody else.
Yeah. Also, listen to the just like anything else. Like if you want to be written up by a blogger or someone in the press, the first thing that we would tell you to do is to research where you want to be covered and see if that area if people are actually covered that are kind of like you. If they are they independent? Are they being played on the radio? Are they being written about? Like, you want to do your research in that, because if they have a tendency to do that, then you have a shot. If all they're playing are artists from major labels, then you don't have any chance, most likely, to get your song played in that area. Again, like, major networks aren't most likely going to pay independent music unless they have something that's kind of dedicated to that. Whereas local radio stations would probably do that if their focus is local music and people that are in the area. So it's just a matter of really understanding, what is available to you, and then approaching the people that you feel you have a chance at connecting with.
Nothing is unimportant as an independent musician. Anything.
Yeah, that's well said. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's the best way to think about it. It's like, again, wherever your audience is and you feel you can connect with them, and it's something that's accessible to someone that's at your level as a musician, nothing is wrong with trying to make that work. But I wouldn't bang your head against the wall trying to get on, like, something that's a mega top 40 countdown on major, terrestrial radio stations, because it's not accessible to, independent musicians. So just understand what you're targeting, why you're targeting it for, and then, go for it. Thanks for watching. If you're looking for expert help with your music career, schedule a call with us today, or you could enroll in one of our free artist development programs. The link for both can be found in the description below. And please don't forget to subscribe. Your support really matters, and we appreciate any help that you can give to the work that we do. Have a great day.